Welcome to Online Learning Children. Today we are going to learn A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. Let's know some details about the poet. John Keats was born in England, a romantic poet, was trained to be a surgeon, but he followed his heart, that is literature, published 54 poems. Most acclaimed works are Ode to Nightingale, Sleep and Poetry. Died at the age of 25, too early to die. 5-year career here. A Thing of Beauty is an extract from Endymion, a poetic romance by John Keats, based on a Greek legend. So in this, a beautiful young shepherd and poet who lived on Mount Latmos had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. He resolved to seek her out and wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Nothingness meaning insignificant. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. What is beauty? What is beauty? It could be a natural one. It could be splendid streams, majestic mountains, beautiful lakes, anything. It could be the sun, the moon, anything. It could be the rainbow. You mean to say the beauty are these beautiful flowers, snow-capped mountains, splendid streams? Of course, all these are natural beauties. But look at these pictures. The kind gestures, the gestures shown by the people. Now in the first picture, you can see the girl is offering food for the needy. Is beauty. In the second picture, we can see the girl is offering ice cream to a dog. Innocence. Innocence is also beauty. In the third picture, we can see an elderly woman is taken care of. Again, caring for others is also beauty. And in this picture, we can see that environment is being taken care of. Again, this is also a good gesture. And in the last picture here, soldiers are guarding the nation. Selfless service to the nation. Again, this is also beauty. So a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. When we look at something very, very beautiful, every time the happiness, the charm, the fascination multiplies. It never comes down. So significant it is. It will never pass into nothingness. It will never pass into insignificant areas at all. but we'll keep a bower quiet for us. Bower meaning is a shady place, a pleasant shady place. A pleasant shady place, a bower quiet for us. For a newborn child or a growing child, the mother's lap is the safest place on the earth. That is the bower. And the same child grows into an adolescent person or a man, young man, exposes to the society. He has to face a lot of challenges, he has to take a lot of criticisms. At those moments, the moral support, the soothing words given by the family members or family relatives or friends, that is bower for him. Then what is bower quiet? What is the bower the poet mentions here? A bower quiet for us. The poet talks about the natural beauty throughout this poem. The nature, when we are amidst the nature, it is going to captivate our mind and spirit. We experience such exquisite and serene moments when we look at the nature. These moments fill our mind with peace and tranquility. So when we experience such moments, that is a bower for us. We forget the burden or the pain that we are undergoing at that moment. So those who take a lap in the, those who are going to be in the lap of nature, definitely they are going to be happy. They will get good sleep. The good sleep will give us good dreams. So the good dreams will give us quiet breathing, good health and quiet breathing. So the nature, when we are in the lap of nature, we get a good sleep and full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. What is that quiet breathing? When our mind is calm and restful only, we get quiet breathing. Okay, let us move to the next stanza. So if we are in the lap of nature, who will not say no for this sort of houses or a bower? Therefore, on every morrow, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth? The poet tells us every morning we have to weave, we have to form a beautiful string of flowers. Or it can be like this, beautiful memories that we have. We have to recall those beautiful memories. We have to cherish those memories, which will relieve us from the burden of pain and stress. Therefore, on every morrow, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth? There is an inner meaning also. The poet asks us on every morrow. Morrow means morning. Wreathing means weaving. are making a flowery band to bind us to the earth. The inner meaning says that are we connecting ourselves to the earth? Are we connecting ourselves to the earth? This is the wreath. This wreath is used to decorate the houses during the Christmas celebrations. And wreathing here is weaving. Okay, are we forming? Are we connecting with the nature? Are we binding ourselves with the nature? Are we doing the duties towards nature and the natural world? The poet is reminding us about this in this stanza. Are we contributing? Are we connecting? Are we protecting? Are we saving the earth? Cherishing the beauty or the grandeur. Are we cherishing the grandeur of the beauty? So the poet tells us here the impact of nature in our life is so immense. And the nature gives us ready health, wealth, happiness. Are we adorning it? Are we decorating it? Are we decorating the earth? Are we binding ourselves with the earth? So the poet urges in this stanza to strengthen our bond with the nature. So by strengthening our bond with the nature, we are going to be happy, we are going to be healthy. That's what he says in this stanza. Let's move to the next stanza. Spite of despondence, we have some contracted form of words in this stanza. Spite is in spite. And we have one more contracted form, over, that is over. In spite of despondence. The meaning of despondence. Is despair or disappointment. Death means lack. So, the inhuman death of noble natures, of the gloomy days. Nowadays, we could see very few people with noble character. In spite of despondence, in spite of disappointment, in spite of seeing very few people with good character, of the gloomy days, of the unhappy days, of the sad moments, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, over-darkened, that is evil or bad ways, made for our searching. It makes us to search. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Though we have this many disturbances, a mere sight of nature will remove the cloud of gloom. That is pall, the meaning is cloud of gloom. It will take away our sadness. A mere sight of nature will remove the sadness from our dark spirits, from the low spirits. Such beauty could be the sun, the moon, trees old and young, Tree is a perfect example here because tree bears the heat and gives shade and coolness, not only to the mighty, but also for the simple sheep. Sheep symbolizes innocence here. Jesus was a shepherd. His followers, that is his flock of sheep, is being referred here. Poet has made some special reference to sheep as the divine beauty. So sheep is referred as a divine beauty here. So it's not only for the mighty, but also for the simple persons, simple sheep. Also, the tree gives shelter. Tree is a perfect example of kindness, good gestures, though it comes under natural beauty. And such are daffodils. Daffodils are young, yellow color, bright flower with the green world they live in. Green pastures, meadows, all these things are also referred as nature, beauty, natural beauty. So in the stanza, the poet has referred some beautiful things, natural beauties. We'll move to the next stanza. So here the despondence, that is the dejection, sadness, all these things are removed by a mere sight of sun, moon, trees old or young, bright yellow daffodils. So in the next line also it continues about the natural beauties and clear rills. Rills means small streams. Small streams that for themselves a cooling covert. Covert means shelter. Against, again this is a contracted form of word, again. Against is against the hot season. The mid forest break. Break is, the meaning for break is thick growth of ferns, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Now the poet in this stanza, he says that for every sorrow there is a solution. And he says that during the summer, clear rills, fresh, cool water is a solution. And mid-forest break, thick growth of bush, okay? Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. In the forest, musk rose, that is the wild rose blooms fairly. Rich, it is rich. Lot of roses are bloom. So there is a remedy for everything in the nature. So it never stops to fascinate us. That's what he says. The last stanza in this poetry is very, very important. So we can see small streams, musk rose blooms. So this stanza is very, very important as far as the poetry is concerned, because from the beginning till the end, we talked about the natural beauties. But in this stanza, we are going to see something different. That is, we are going to talk about the abstract beauty. Grandeur. The meaning of grandeur is splendor. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms, the people, those who have died. In their death also beauty is there. Grandeur is there. The grandeur is there. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read. So if we read from the third line to second line and then first line, we get a proper meaning. Beauty is also associated with destiny and death of the noble and valiant and mighty people. In their death also beauty is there, because they have lived an honorable and selfless life. They have left a lot of legacy and noble deeds to be followed by the generation after generation. By hearing or reading or listening to such inspiring stories is like drinking nectar, endless nectar, immortal drink, pouring unto us from the heavens brink, from the extreme edge of land. We get that immortal drink, that is from the heaven, we are getting it. So through these lines, we understand that beauty is associated not only with tangible or material objects, things, but also with abstract things like courageousness, selflessness, kindness. All these things are also beauty. So the stories of great men who have immortalized by the noble deeds, they have left the legacy that we have to follow. So this is also a thing of beauty. So the message was conveyed strongly by the poet that we can see beauty in gestures, good gestures of human beings. Thank you.